But I gotta think twice. Oh, I give my heart away. And I know all the games you play because I play them too. It's some time off from that devotion. Try to keep my heart back on the floor. Oh, and that love comes down with our devotion. What it takes is from them, baby. But I'm showing you the door. Cause I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. Because I gotta have faith to faith to faith. I gotta have faith to faith. Baby! I know you're asking me to stay. Say, please, please, please don't go away. You say I'm giving you the blues. Baby! You mean every word you say. I can't help but think of yesterday. The kind of lover who tied me down to a level more room. For this river, here comes an ocean. Before you get my heart back on the floor. Oh, baby, I reconsider my foolish notion. But I need someone to hold me. But I wait for something more. Yes, I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. Because I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Oh! Feel free to jump on. Say who you are, where you're from. What's up?
Hey.
Hey, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Tracy. I'm from Humboldt County, Northern California. Woohoo! Good to be here.
All right.
I don't see Tammy on yet.
I don't either.
Hi, Jen Lockhart from Colorado.
Colorado in the building.
Woohoo!
I gotta have faith. Because I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. All right, all right, all right. Well, we'll just start anyway because people aren't jumping on right now, but that's all good because I got some beautiful women right here. Does anybody have any health questions? Does anybody have any like ponderings or wonderings or anything they want to see? I mean, right now, I'll just tell you, I didn't finish.
Vitamins.
Vitamin. We got a
what was that?
Oh, rewind. Wow. I didn't even finish my breakfast here because I was like, I got to show y'all what is going on in the Cole house.
A burrito?
Are you kidding me? You're out your damn mind, girl. No, this ain't a burrito. This is duck egg on a bed of power greens with some broccolini, some seeds, some sprouted seeds on
nice
free toast, baby. That's how you do it. That's how you have a full, well-rounded meal. Well,
nice.
What you need and avoiding what? Oils, glutens, sugars, craps. So yeah,
nice.
It's really easy. It took me about 8 to 12 minutes. I put the toast. I literally, this is how I don't use a knife anymore. I just bite it and spit it out, little pieces, and then I put it in a bowl and then I saute it real quick with some ghee because we don't want to use oils. Do you know why we don't want to use oils? Anybody? Anybody know why? Well, let me show you. Here is your typical bottle of oil, okay? What's this one? Okay, this is avocado. This is coconut. I thought this was olive oil. So let's pretend this is olives. It doesn't really matter. All of them, okay? So what happens is you take nature's perfect fruit, right? An avocado, a coconut, an olive, right? And what happens is they have a protective layer, right? And that protective layer makes sure that the inside of that fruit doesn't go bad. Have you ever had an apple and you cut it open? What happens in about 5 to 30 minutes? All right,
it goes brown.
Brown. Tracy's got it. Starts browning, right? That's called oxidation. What's actually happening is the oxygen is causing decay onto your fruit because it's now exposed to oxygen. So nature has made these barriers to protect the inside of your fruit from getting oxidized and causing damage. Now, oxidation leads to free radicals. Free radicals lead to cancers, right? All this bad stuff. Because what's happening is you're having these things that are free going around and they're just like taking electrons from everything else. And then they cause all these problems to your other cells because then they're not properly balanced. So you're taking something, the nature's fruit, and you're smashing it. Even the best stuff, cold press, right? You're still smashing it. So what's happening in that process is it's smashed. Now, oxygen is now there. And then they put it into this bottle, and it's not all the way full anyway. Even though it's already been exposed to oxygen, the damage is done. It still has oxygen in here. So now it's sitting in their little factory for 6 months, and then they ship it around the world for 6 months, and then it sits in the stores for 6 months, and then you buy it. And you're like, oh my God, it's so healthy. I got this great stuff. And you smear it all over everything. The good old days. I did love me some raw olive oil. Oh my God, I put it on everything. I would just drink that stuff raw because it's so good for your health, except for the fact that it actually isn't. Because what happens is now you're sitting on your shelf, open, close, another 6 months to a year. So basically, by the time it gets into your body, it's oxidized so much. Some people call it rancid. I call it like it decays. So the electrons, as it goes in, it literally just rips electrons right off cell walls and can blow holes in your arteries. So when you look at any like health surgeon, right, they're in they're in the job of checking out the heart and doing that, but they're not looking at cross examination for like disease prevention. So they're not looking at the whole picture. So all these health surgeons are like, oh, it's the best thing ever for your heart, but they're not like looking at what's going on in your organs and how it's blowing holes in them. So oils aren't really great. What else we got? Did someone ask that, or did I just volunteer that? That's why we have ghee. Ghee is good because it comes from animal fat. Animal fat is actually the best type of fat. That's why back in the day when all these people used to use lard, it was actually a better option than like when the margarine thing came in. Margarine's terrible for us. It's that hydrogenated crap. We definitely don't want that. But if you are going to get ghee, because everything's so toxic these days, you got to make sure that it's pasture-raised organic ghee, right? I got some good stuff right here. I'll show you that too. Why not? Why not take a stroll in the kitchen of Cole? This is what you're looking for, right? You're looking for organic and you're looking for grass-fed. That's a Humboldt cow. These are the happiest cows in the whole freaking world. Now, the reason you want grass-fed is, do we know why? Do we know why we eat plants? How about we do that? Till we get someone on here that's interested in cleanses and nutrients, we'll just have some information fun. All right. So do we know why we eat plants? Anybody know why we eat plants? Well, let me tell you that. This is fantastic. So basically, we eat plants to eat the minerals in the soil. I know, not what you were thinking about hearing. What happens is the soil holds minerals. Now, minerals are like rocks and shells and all this great stuff that's embedded in the soil. Basically, nature takes carbon and makes it to denser molecules. Like it starts as like fusion at the sun, and then it just comes from that hydrogen and helium all the way down to all the periodic table. So once we get to carbon, that's when we have like life. And so as you put the carbon in the soil, which 200 years ago, right, we didn't have electricity. So every home, every factory, every building was running wood, right? We were burning lots of wood. We had a surplus of ash, not ash. Come on. Keep it appropriate, guys. Jeez. Ash. So we had a surplus of ash. Now this ash, what would we do with it? I don't know. We got to get rid of it. So we put it on our fields. We put it on our gardens. We put it on anything that was growing stuff, because that's 96. When the ash goes down, you're 96% carbon, and you're putting that on your fields. So now over time, right, especially if you're doing, the harvest properly, not this monocrop, pesticide crap that we're doing today, but it actually would start filtering in the carb cycle, and then it would become all these denser minerals. So we would have up to 50, 60 minerals in our soils. This is just 200 years ago. So now, what do the plants do, right? It's about eating plants. I didn't say you're going to eat soil. In fact, that's the number one problem with pharmaceuticals, or not even really pharmaceuticals, but any of those like vitamins and minerals you get from the grocery store, is they come from crushed rock and shell. So they're going straight to the mineral source of the crushed rock and shell, and they're putting it in pills. We don't really absorb pills very well. Ooh, whoopsie. We don't really absorb pills very well. There's better ways and worse ways, but a normal pill isn't going to get absorbed nearly as well as even like a capsule, or what we really do. We want powders, liquids. That's how our body takes stuff in. Smoothies. That stuff is amazing, right? So what happens is they use crushed rock and shell in like Centrum for Men, or does anyone know, like, can anyone think of another one? I just always think Centrum because I like haven't been in this game for a while, but there's men, women, all this stuff. There's a million things, right? So you go there and you get your little pills, but they're crushed rock and shell. So they don't actually really assimilate or absorb in the body, because here's the key. The plants in the soil, that's what is all about, right? The plants take the minerals from the soil, but only if the minerals are in the soil. The plants cannot create minerals, okay? So no matter what kind of good, like super plants you have, they can't manifest minerals out of anywhere. They have to take it from the soil. So whatever's in the soil, the plants are going to suck up like a sponge. And then this is the magic of plants using photosynthesis. They make these minerals, plant-derived minerals. They make them so that we can actually absorb them as living beings on the earth. So they take these minerals from the soil and they convert them into plant-derived minerals. That is the special sauce, baby. That's why we eat plants, to get the minerals plant-derived, okay? Now that's why we eat animals, because the animals eat the plants that have the minerals in them. It's also that our body can get the mineral composition, there it is, the mineral composition that we truly need. Cool? Cool? Nod your head. Cool. Yeah, we got this. All right. Thumbs up. Cool. All right. So we're going to get plant-derived minerals, all right? Now, a lot of this stuff is not plant-derived. So we need to get these minerals in our body. In fact, our body needs 90 essential minerals every single day, right? Boom. I got it right here. 60 minerals. It might be reversed for you. 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 fatty acids. Now, if your body doesn't have this in your body, in your bloodstream right now, then your body is building cells without it. Okay. Now you got to think that every second of your life, you're making 50 million blood cells every second. That's just blood cells. Now I don't know the total for the body. It's billions, maybe even trillions. Imagine trillions of cells, trillions. Now you're only made up of 100 trillion cells, but technically only about 10, 20 of those are you. The other 80 to 90 trillion are the things living in, on, and around you. But in 7 years, you rejuvenate everything, right? In a couple of months, you'll do like eyes, taste buds, skin stuff. A couple of years, you do all the way into the bones. 7 years, they say, to get every single cell rejuvenated, right? Some cells live a long time. Some cells don't live a long time. But if we don't have the proper building blocks, it's like trying to build a home, right? You have a pile of bricks, you have a pile of sand. Like if you use the bricks, you're probably going to build a pretty good home. But if you use the sand, let's just say that's not a place I want to live in, okay? Now, what your body does is it's making these cells every second, every day. And if you don't have these building blocks, you're going to build sand cells. Let's just say that. So the proteins, the amino acid compositions, they get all misfolded, misshapen, and all kind of coagulated. So they don't work right. And then they don't operate right. So then what does the body do with them? Well, it doesn't know what to do with them. So it stores them, sticks them, it stuffs them. And then pretty soon that abscess, that growth, that tumor, right, it gets put somewhere to deal with. And so most people are constantly eating indigestion, and like they're eating acid foods, they're eating addictive things, right? So what happens is the body doesn't have the energy to actually deal with this stuff ever, because A, we're not giving it the proper nutrients to deal with it. B, we're always giving the body something to do, right? Every thought you think, every muscle you move, every single thing that you breathe in, right? It all creates an ash in the body, right? An ash. It's an acid ash, okay? But the blood wants to be slightly alkaline. So if everything you're doing as a human being functioning or breathing and thinking and experiencing reality and loving on people, right? If all of that is creating an ash, acid ash, and then most of the foods you eat are ass, that was a good one. That should be ass. Most of the foods you eat are ass. They also create acids, right? A lot of animal products, a lot of alcohols, a lot of coffees, all that stuff actually creates and builds up more acid. So now your body's taking all the energy that it could be doing to like take care of stuff or like give you the kind of energy that I have all day. And it's dealing with digestion problems. It's dealing with acid buildups. It's dealing with all these other things. So it's constantly working in overdrive, right? But when we do like intermittent fasting, which is phenomenal, right? Boom, we got some intermittent fastings in the building. It's amazing. Yes, exactly. Because you give your body that space. It's no longer sitting all that time digesting, and it has time to, maybe I'll clean up this area over here, or maybe I'll give a good scrub over there, you know? That's why it's good every few months, I'd say, do like a couple of day fast. That way your body just really stops dealing with digestion and starts creating all that spring cleaning, let's call it. And so that's one of the issues, is now we have all this energy that's getting wasted, and then we can't sleep right, we don't eat right, our hormones get all imbalanced, and then all these problems start coming. Now, one of the biggest culprits in the entire planet for this problem with your digestion tract, any takers? Any takers? Gluten. Gluten is a poison. It has biocytokines that go in and they poison your microvilli. Now, in your digestive tract, you have tiny little hairs, right? Little tiny little hairs, right? And what happens is the body breaks down the food into tiny little amino acid particles, and then those hairs, they stick to them, and then they climb up the little hairs and they get into the bloodstream. Okay. Now, there's several problems with gluten, but the number one is that the biocytokines actually poison your microvilli. And so now you stop digesting and absorbing well. And over time, that causes much more problems for you. Because have you ever seen someone, they're like aging real nice? Like my grandma, she was 80, she looked 60. It was amazing. But by the time she hit about 85, it looked like she was 120. right? It's because eventually your body gets to a point. Now we come into this world deficient, right? Like I said, we don't put ash on our gardens anymore. And in fact, all of the water tables used to flood every year, and it would bring the silts, right? Water is an eroder, so it goes down the river streams and it erodes the rock and shells and all the good minerals. And then every year it would flood, and it would bring those floods back into the soils, back into the farms, and it would make this really powerful, rejuvenation of our mineral systems. Well, we've dammed near everything, like literally all the dams have blocked all the water channels basically around the world. And so because of that, we don't have these natural floods that happen. I guess it's not all around the world. I don't really know the truth. I know it's all everywhere in America though. But I feel like Africa, they probably still got a lot of flooding going on because they got those big fields of the Serengeti. So, but basically in America, everything's flooded. So we aren't getting the nutrients. It could be the best humble soil in the entire planet, and it's probably got like 16 minerals in it. And that's because with the agricultural revolution, they discovered that you only need 3 nutrients to grow food: NPK, nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. Okay. Now that means if you go look at your store and you walk down the aisles and you look at fertilizer, you're basically going to see those 3 things over and over and over again and not much more, because people don't get paid, right? Farming isn't the industry it used to be because of the big farming and the monocrops and Monsanto and all this crap. It's kind of hard to make it as a farmer. That's why they got to do farmers market every then. They got to charge this extra money. And the issue is they don't get paid nutrients per bushel. They get paid bushels per acre. So it doesn't give them any incentive to put more nutrients into the soil because it's just out of their pocket. Just because they have the best nutrients, nobody's going to know about it. So they, this plump, beautiful, organic stuff from Humboldt doesn't really have the nutrient content that we need anymore. So it doesn't matter what your diet is. It's 2021. It's impossible as a human being to get proper nutrition from food alone. In fact, chromosomally, we should be living to about an average of 120. That's our chromosomal age. That's what would happen if we just had a normal life. But does anybody know about the average lifespan of an American couch potato? It's 75 and a half. So if you're an American and you don't do anything healthy with your body, you sit on the couch all day, you'll live to about 75. Now think about that. That's about half, 75, 140, 120, right? It's about half. But the average doctor in America dies at around 60. That's 15 years less, right? There's this thing, this psychology, it's called confirmation bias, or no, that's not the right one. I'm thinking of, it's the cognitive dissonance. I got it. Yes, it's up there, baby. Cognitive dissonance, okay? Cognitive dissonance is where it creates an uncomfortable feeling to act in not accordance, to act outside of accordance with who you are as an identity. So here you are giving these pills away to everybody all day, every day, because you've been programmed by who? The pharmaceutical industry. Yep, they write the curriculum for the medical doctors of allopathic medicine, MDs, all your doctors. Pharmaceutical industry is in control of that. That's why they see symptom, pill, patient, drug. That's all they see. It's not their fault. They only got 2 hours of nutrition training in their 9 years of schooling. Ask any doctor. Most of them are like, I didn't even get that. Unless they took it upon themselves to take extra classes and outside stuff and do their own research. Most of them are already overwhelmed with 9 years of school, getting all. So what happens is they take their own pills, they follow their own procedures, and they die early. The medical industry is going to kill you. That's just what's going to happen. Pharmacy comes from the word poison. When they give you a drug, that's a perfect word for it, because what the drug does is it cuts out the symptom. Okay, so you have an imbalance of nutrition, right? This medical doctor, he did 32,000 autopsies. An autopsy is the only clear, definitive way to prove cause of death. 32,000 autopsies on over 500 exotic species in the 60s. And what he discovered is every human being needs 90 essential nutrients, but not just every human being, every living species, anything with a spinal cord, right? And so they all need 90 essential nutrients every day. And the same nutrient deficiency in a dog, a cat, a giraffe, a fish, a bird, a hummingbird, and a human is the same deficiency of disease. So if you don't have enough copper, you're going to have an aneurysm either in your brain or your heart. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter if you're a flamingo or a dolphin. Like, it's just the deficiency that you need. And so the same thing is like with blood sugar. A lot of people have blood sugar. You need chromium and vanadium, right? You have this gate, and the insulin comes and knocks on the gate of the sugar cell and says, hey, let me in to take care of this. And nobody's home because you don't have chromium and vanadium. So the gate stays closed. So the body says, hey, that wasn't enough insulin. Release more, release more, release more, release more, until you burn out your pancreas. You become insulin resistant. Okay. So we need these 90 essential nutrients every day. All species need them. But the most important thing is that they're what? What did we learn? Rock and shell, soil, plant derived. This is the pure genius. He's actually, Dr. Wallach is actually the father of plant-derived minerals, which is fantastic, right? Because he basically figured all this stuff out. He's got tons of awards, tons of research, like 200 research articles, 15 books. Like this guy is genius. Like all he cares about is helping people. He doesn't even own a single share of his own company because he doesn't want to be controlled by the dollar. Okay, he doesn't want to have his recommendations make him money. That's just the kind of integrous guy he is. I don't know about now with COVID, he can't travel, but before COVID, he was still doing 300 days a year at 82 years old, doing lectures and talks all around the world. Somehow people don't even know his name, Dr. Wallach. He's done his health lecture, has reached over 300 million people, and that was in 20 years ago. It's just insane. So what we're discovering is that we need plant-derived minerals. So where do we go? Right? We got to scour the earth. Is there any minerals left on this planet? Where the heck are they going to go? High and low. We got like, damn, everything's so toxic now. This is the most toxic time of our entire life. During the Obama administration, on Time magazine, front page, baby, I think 2006, 2008, somewhere around there. There's literally an article that says, this is the first generations of humans being born that will not outlive their parents. Not outlive their parents. That doesn't make sense. We always outlive the previous generation until now. They're poisoning the air, they're poisoning the water, they're poisoning the food, they're poisoning your mind. It's all a systematic control from these corporations, these big techs, these pharmaceutical industries to take our money and to make us sick, and just we don't have any power. So what happens is he scoured the earth and he actually found it in America, in Utah. This is ours, baby. And what he found was it's called a humic shale. Oh God, just saying the words like humic shale. We can all say it together. Humic shale, baby. This is like the womb of Mother Earth. This is like her placenta here for us. Just eat and save the planet, right? The humic shale is the most powerful, potent spot of minerals on the planet. It's actually got 77 minerals in them. But get this, it's a bedrock of limestone, okay? And then 100-million-year-old rainforest has decayed on top of it, okay? Now think about that. 100 million years ago, there was no humans, there was no toxins, there was no pollutants, right? The planet was in harmony. So now you're getting this perfectly balanced thing with no human, right? None of it, right? It's just pure baby, pure Mother Nature womb. And these things, right? We talked about the cycle. So these trees die, they put those carbon back into the soil, then the plants bring the soil back up. Now this is a rainforest, baby. So you're getting like the best stuff on the planet untouched. But the best part is a volcano erupted literally just far enough away to cause another bedrock of limestone to actually layer it. So we got a Klondike bar, baby, of the prehistoric nutrients before humans ever existed. It's prehistoric plant-derived minerals of the highest potency and purity on the planet, right? But it's preserved by that freaking layer of limestone so that the water didn't get in and disperse the minerals. This thing you could break apart and see like the plant matter. It's like this brown, black, like, I just want to eat it myself. It's amazing. So what he does is he goes in to these mines and he mines this stuff out and he puts it into his canisters, right? This is the Healthy Body Starter Pack. This is what every human being should be on every single day of their life. I drink this stuff all day. I'm on like two of these a freaking month now because it's just, I mean, look at me. I'm on fire like all the time. He puts them in these canisters, okay? This is the stuff that I'm just like, I'm in love with this stuff. But this is the stuff that's like really good for you, right? This has got all the vitamins, the minerals, the stuff that you really need to like get ready. These B vitamins alone in here will change your life. Like B vitamins do a million different things for you. And just B12, it's got 42,000% of your daily needed intake. Now, B vitamins are water soluble, which means your body can't absorb them. They don't keep them. You don't have a storage of B vitamins. So if you don't have B vitamins every day, it's already going to cause damage, right? So just the B vitamins alone, but it's got all the 16 vitamins that you need. It's got the whole mineral, plus it's got pre and probiotics. It's all in one. Boom, right there. Everything you need, except for the bone meal. I call this the bone meal. They call it OsteoFX, but this is the stuff for your bones. It's calcium, magnesium. It's got all the copper and selenium, all the good stuff that you need. Boron, that's what you need to transport this stuff. The thing is nature doesn't give us a mineral. Nature gives us an apple. And an apple has like 2,000 different amazing things in it, right? So we can't be taking things one at a time because the body doesn't assimilate that and work very well. We need an apple. So when we take this, we want to take it with some food. So we get all like the natural stuff of the food, plus we're adding the powder into a liquid form. So that way it absorbs with it. You have all the cofactors, the enzymes, everything that your body actually needs to take this stuff deep. Now that's the crucial part. Now, as we become nutrient deficient, the body has to find it somewhere. So it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So as soon as you have a symptom, you know that the body's deficiency is already deep into the tissues. Now, as soon as that symptom, you start taking pills on top of that, more acids, you start taking more problems. Then you take pills on top of pills on top of pills. The reason you're having a side effect isn't necessarily the pill. Your body is saying, hey, check the engine. There's a problem. I'm tired. I'm lethargic. My stomach hurts. I have an illness. I'm like whatever it is. My skin is wrinkled. My hair is turning gray. My eyesight, oh, I can't see very well. That's a symptom of a nutrient deficiency. And he's linked every single natural cause of death, every single disease to a nutrient deficiency across the board, across all nature, right? And that makes sense given that A, T, C, and G makes up all the base pairs for all animals. The same combo of A, A, T, C, G, G, C in a bird or a monkey or a bat is the same ones in you. It makes up the same protein structures. We are 50% identical to a freaking banana. A banana. The same things that are coating the banana are the same things that are coating you. Okay? So we got to think about that. It is holistic. It is one world. It is unified. Okay? So we need the same stuff as everyone. So I lost my train of thought. Here we go. What I was saying was we need the apple all together. So we want these nutrients in our body harmonized. Now, lost my train of thought. That's good though, you know, keeps me sharp. So what we want to do is we want to get these nutrients in our body on a daily basis so that we're restoring and rejuvenating everything. So now we have this humic shell. Now he'll put this stuff into a canister and then make sure every canister is perfectly balanced. Now, if it isn't, he's been known literally to throw away $50,000 worth of product, just gone, because he cares that much about health. He's had this whole crazy health journey himself from like a young lad. He was almost institutionalized for what we would call like violent autism, but they didn't know that back then. And then he started noticing that the animals didn't seem crazy, and he started eating the chicken feed. He noticed that the alfalfa pellets have like 40 minerals, and he started eating that, and it actually cured him. He was known, he was actually famous in his town as like a 9-year-old for curing people with diabetes and heart conditions and like mental disorders from chicken feed. I hope he didn't say it was chicken feed, because that's just crazy. But we treat our animals better than we treat our humans. Our average animal, like our dogs, look at their stuff. They got like 40 minerals in them, maybe 20, maybe 40. But that's what we give our steers, our chickens. We give them minerals because why? Because we know that if we don't, they get osteoporosis, they get cancers, they get problems. Like if a cow gets osteoporosis, it can't birth a calf. It breaks the bones. And so what happens is they give them minerals to prevent that. It's called preventative maintenance, preventative medicine, preventative healthcare, right? If you're preventing disease, you don't get disease, right? If we treated our animals like we treat our humans, a cheeseburger would cost about $500, right? Because we would have to do symptom treatment, right? We'd have to wait until the problem was so bad it actually caused the symptom, and then try to treat that with some direct thing. And people say, oh, $150 is expensive every month. It's like, if you think wellness is expensive, you got to try illness, right? Because that's $150,000 or $200,000. The average cancer treatment costs $1.3 million. And if you got like some banging health insurance, you're still probably paying $200,000 out of pocket. I don't know about how thick and stacked your pockets are, but $200,000 would wreck me. And guess what? Are you cured? The average cancer treatment has a 70% reoccurrence rate within 5 years, which means they're going to bang you again in 5 years with another $200,000, because you're not addressing the cause. We're playing with the symptoms. So the check engine light is on. Ah, there it is. I knew it was coming back. The check engine light is coming on, right? It's a symptom. So what do? We take our hammer and we smash out that check engine light. We keep driving the car. That's what we do in modern medicine. That's what every human is just like programmed to think and to do. And because of that, the symptom is now drugged. The symptom is silenced, right? That's why we call it a drug. And because of that, all of a sudden the car starts wobbling, something starts squeaking, the tires are shaking, all these other side effects start arising because we've stopped the symptom. The body is giving the symptom to heal the body. It's like when we get a fever, right? You always say, oh, get the fever, got to get the fever down. No, the fever is coming up to kill whatever it is inside of the body. It's a defense mechanism. The body, now it can get out of control and somebody can die. It is possible, but like people stopping fevers at like 100, 101. Like, let that shit ride out. 103, maybe 104 even. Like, ride that out. Kill that thing out. Otherwise, it's going to build a tolerance and come back. It's the same thing when we do cleanses, right? If we give in to whatever that craving is, maybe it's coffee, maybe it's sugar, maybe it's chocolate, maybe it's whatever, there's that beastie that lives in your gut, right? There's more neuroconnectivity in your gut than there is in your brain. Check that out. So in your brain, there's like 800 billion neurons, right? But there's like tens of trillions of cells of like things that are living in and on you. Here's a little side one that's going to take you a little while to get out of your head. 1/3 of your waste isn't yours. It isn't even yours. It's all the things living in you. It's their waste. So you're just disposing it for them. So that's how much stuff is in the gut. So there's the serotonin, right? That's a neurochemical in the brain, neurotransmitter. Sero means gut. Serotonin. That was first discovered in the gut. So what we discover is all these things that are living in the gut are releasing neurotransmitters. Obviously, they cross the blood-brain barrier because they're neurotransmitters. And so they go directly into your brain and they rewire it. And all of a sudden you're craving something. You want sugar, you want coffee, you want. And so that beastie is saying, feed me, I'm hungry. And we go, oh, I've had such a stressful day. I deserve a chocolate. I've been so good today. I'm going to eat chocolate. Like we think we're controlling ourselves, but we're not in control. Our gut is. That's why they say trust the gut, right? There's all this stuff in the past about the gut feeling, right? But if your gut is out of balance, then your feelings aren't going to be in alignment. They're going to be out of whack. And if they're out of whack, you're going to eat worse things, and then your gut's going to get worse. Now, almost every single thing that's bad for you lives in an acidic, deoxygenated, or anaerobic environment that creates inflammation. So if we can bring in a lot more oxygen into our body, that's why we have antioxidants, right? They bring in more oxygen. They take those free radicals back in. By the way, this is full of antioxidants as well. We take those antioxidants, now we're controlling that. Then we want to have the acid. So we want to switch to a more alkaline diet. That's why greens are so good. That's why we see greens over there. We got it. They're here. You know what? I'm not even gonna look at them. Greens, I got green powders all over the place, right? Because greens are really good. They balance out, they bring the alkalinity. Just actually doing the Wim Hof breathing. And notice I'm breathing into my gut. Forceful breathing in the nose, exhale. Now don't push it out, just relax. All the way in, relax. It actually alkalizes your blood and it gives you a bunch of energy too. And then the coolest thing is it shuts off your mind and you go deep into a meditation. So we're just blending it. We're just giving free value. Nobody's even asking questions. I don't even know what we're talking about, where we're going here. But so it's all coming together, right? We want to make the body's environment inhospitable for disease. And then we want to give it all the nutrition so it stops doing worse things. Because the body, like what I was saying, is it's going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into your tissue. So if you already have a symptom, it means that the body's had to go into your deep tissues to find some minerals or nutrients that are still there and extract them. Okay. So where is the deepest layer of your body? You guys know? The bone marrow. That's where you're storing the last of your nutrients. And so the bottom line of all disease is because your body is now going into your bone marrow to extract the final nutrients to try to keep your body alive. I'll give you a trippy one. This stuff I call the fat pills because you want the fat pills. This has your omega-3, 6, and 9. Now, most people get plenty of omega-6s, maybe some omega-9s, but omega-3 is a little bit harder to get in your food. And omega-3s are like the brake pedals. Omega-6s are like the accelerators. So if we're just having omega-6s, we're like, yeah, but it's out of balance again because we also need the brakes. So we don't want to just keep pushing everything forward. We want to have that balance. And so we need fats. Now, there's a cholesterol myth in America, right? And 30 years ago, there was no like 300 is bad. But now 300 is bad because they found a drug that lowers cholesterol. So now they need a disease to go with the drug. That's how it works, right? They work in reverse. Oh, we found a mistake. Oh, it lowers cholesterol. Oh, let's make a cholesterol problem and get rich, right? So what happens is 300 is now the cap off. That's bad cholesterol. But as you age, you need more cholesterol. Cholesterol makes your hormones. Cholesterol makes hormones. Cholesterol is hormones, right? Think about women going through menopause, right? If you have a bunch of symptoms through menopause, hot flashes, stuff like that, if you're pregnant, you got a bunch of cravings, ice cream and pickles, that's all just nutrient deficiencies. Your body is screaming, I need more nutrients, I need more minerals. And so what happens is you're going through all this crazy stuff in your menopause because you're not making the proper hormones anymore. But what? Your cholesterol is too high. They need to lower it. And then they need to tell you to stop eating things like delicious, amazing duck eggs because they're trying to lower your cholesterol. But there's literally Lipitrol is the #1 cholesterol med that's being given to human beings today. And it says right on the bottle, will not reduce your risk of heart problems. That's the whole reason that I'm taking it, is because you said 300 was giving me risk of heart problems, right? So you can already see the incongruency and the lies to try to keep us not healthy, because we should be living to 120 normally, maybe 150 if you're really like me, super healthy. I'm just going to try to hit that 120 mark. I hope y'all can join me for that. But yeah, for real. So what they're doing is they have this cholesterol myth. Now, here's the craziest thing ever. This one is the hardest one for me to take in. So the body has to go, right? We said bone marrow. That's for most of the stuff, right? If you get a kidney stone, that's because you're extracting calcium straight from your bone marrow and it's getting into your kidneys, because you actually can't get calcium into your kidneys from diet. It only happens from the extraction of your bone marrow. So if we're getting all the way deep into the bone marrow, like I've had muscle cramping since I was born. Like I could squeeze my toes and my muscles would cramp. So I already have calcium and mineral and magnesium deficiency since birth. So now I have teeth decay and gum loss and lower back problems and neck and headaches. All that stuff is coming from calcium deficiencies. Okay. But we're talking about cholesterol. So does anyone know the biggest source of cholesterol in the body? I only got 4 minutes left here, so I won't give you too much time to guess. Your brain is like 98% cholesterol. So have anybody heard of autism? I mean, of Alzheimer's? Yeah. Alzheimer's comes from several things, but the main thing is that you're starving your body of cholesterol. So your body needs to get cholesterol to make hormones, especially as we age and our hormones shift. So if we have sleeping problems or eating problems or digestion problems, like all these things need hormones, right? So what happens is your body starts eating your brain to get the cholesterol, and then you shit out your brains. That's Alzheimer's, right? There's literally this whole crazy myth of all this crazy stuff that's going on because the medical industry is controlled by the pharmaceutical industry, and the pharmaceutical industry's number one thing is not to make you healthy, but to make you sick, which is why if you look at any commercial in America, it'll probably be either for a pharmaceutical drug for literally any problem that you could possibly have, or a lawsuit for people that are suing for that pharmaceutical drug. It's basically in the same amount on the TV. It's like, oh, take this pill. And the next one's like, if you took this pill, call this guy. Like, that's just crazy. So that was all I had to say today. It's not even what we were going to talk about today. I don't even know. I just kind of riffed off the top because Tracy's homie didn't show up and neither did my homie. So here we are, just the four of us, love and life. We got some good ass notes here. That's great. Thank you. All right. I'll take a picture of that if you would. Is everyone feeling good? Or feeling like we need to, I feel like I need to take some more nutrients. My God.
You drink that all the time?
All the time. It's a 2-scoop dose. I do 2 scoops in the morning. I do 2 scoops in the evening. And I've been mixing it with this. I got a whole backpack of stuff, y'all. This Z radical stuff. Oh my goodness. Talk about getting rid of free radicals. Z radical, man. I've just been putting like some of this in there too. I can't get enough of this stuff. The more that I eat it, the more that I want to eat it, the more that my body's like, yes.
So you do that in place of water?
No, honey. I drink about 3 or 4 of these a day. Nothing is in replace.
Oh, wow.
You got to hydrate the body because the body needs water for everything. The body's mostly made up of water. So you got to get good water, though, clean water. I use an alkaline water machine. It's pretty pricey.
I use spring water.
Spring water is great because why? Because it comes from a spring, which means what? It means it's pushing out from the earth. It's coming up through rock and shell, which means you're absorbing the minerals. So when you get that fresh spring water, it's already alkaline, but it's not alkaline through a process of hydrolysis, which ours is, which is just like adding hydrogen ions to the water. But it's actually the best because it's alkalizing through the mineral content, and the minerals make it more alkaline. So that's what's awesome. Spring water is the best. But, you know, not all of us can get that. Or we get it in plastic bottles, and then by the time it gets to us, it's already acidic because it's leaching some of the stuff from the plastic, and then we're drinking that. And a whole nother problem. Do you guys know if you get sea salt that there's actually like plastics in it now because there's so much plastic in the ocean? The only salt that you want to have, where'd it go? I brought this over here. Haha. Pink Himalayan sea salt. This is the stuff. If you're taking salt, it should only be this. Don't have any other salt ever. It's the pink stuff. That's the good stuff. I think we're running out of time. If anybody has any questions, anybody wants more information, anybody just wants to love on me, go ahead, jump on my Facebook. I love y'all. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nothing else before it comes out. Anything else? Hey, love y'all. It was so fun to just have a little powwow. That was totally like not what I was expecting, but hope we had fun a little bit.
That was good information. Thank you.
A fast hour for me. I mean, half an hour, whatever it was, flew by.
Yeah. I'm bummed our people didn't show up though. Dang it.
Yeah, you know what? That's what happens, baby. We gotta
Yeah.
tell the world.
I'm glad the others hopped on. It's good to see.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I just love everybody. This is great. It's just fun to like have some sport. I'm gonna get back to my duck egg here.
Your
And y'all
duck
have
egg.
a beautiful day or night or life. Do it all.
Later.
Do it up.
Peace out.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.